Hello, and welcome to Communicate to Lead, the podcast that empowers leaders and aspiring leaders to communicate with clarity and impact. I'm Kele Belton, CEO and successful entrepreneur, and your host for today. I'm here to equip you with all the essential tools and strategies to master effective communication and lead your team to success. As the founder and CEO of The Tailored Approach, my goal is to empower you to be the best leader you can be. So sit back, relax, and join me in today's episode as we dive into the art of communicating like a true leader. Picture this. You are presenting your quarterly strategic priorities to the CEO and leadership team. You are the Senior Director of Operations, and you have been with the company for 8 years. Your team consistently exceeds targets. But 3 minutes into your presentation, the CEO interrupts you to check his phone. When you continue, he cuts you off mid-sentence to redirect the conversation entirely. Although some executives shift uncomfortably, no one says anything. By the end of the meeting, you have covered his agenda, not yours. This isn't a one-time occurrence. It's become the pattern. And you are left wondering, how did someone with my track record and expertise end up in these high-stakes meetings where my voice carries so little weight? Here's what I know about you. You have the experience. You have the results. You have the strategic insight. But somehow, your authority isn't commanding the respect your expertise should automatically generate. Here's what I've discovered after years of working with high-achieving women leaders. It's not that you are not speaking up. It's that your crucial conversations aren't creating the influence your expertise deserves. So today, we are exploring why brilliant women, such as yourself, with undeniable results, sometimes find their most important conversations falling flat, and how to ensure your communication commands the same respect that your work already earns. There's this invisible gap that high-performing women experience between what you know you're capable of and how your crucial conversations actually land. Let me share what this looks like in real time. Those moments when your track record isn't enough. In 5 ways this shows up even when you are prepared and competent. The first one is when your conversations don't command attention, others fill the space with their interpretations. The second one, your brilliant insights get lost in delivery that doesn't match their value. And the third one, the promotion goes to someone whose communication presence matches their expertise. Number 4, having to revisit the same conversation multiple times because it didn't create lasting change. And lastly, number 5, knowing you have the answer, but feeling like your voice isn't carrying the weight it should. I worked with a senior director who had just led her team through a complex merger. Incredible results. But when she tried to advocate for her promotion to VP, the conversation somehow turned into her explaining why she was qualified rather than discussing her vision for the next level. She didn't avoid the conversation. She showed up prepared with data and examples. But her delivery positioned her as someone still proving her worth rather than someone who'd already earned advancement. 3 months later, she not only had that promotion conversation, she approached it from a completely different position of authority. Instead of explaining why she deserved the vice president role, she presented her strategic vision for the division's next growth phase. The conversation lasted 20 minutes, and she got the promotion with a timeline for transition. The difference wasn't that she learned new skills. It was that she finally positioned herself as the executive she'd already proven herself to be. Here's what I want you to understand. Your expertise has already earned you the authority to have these conversations. The question isn't whether you belong in the room. It's whether your communication reflects the leader you have already become. When you approach crucial conversations as opportunities to embody your authority rather than prove your worth, everything changes. Instead of, I hope this conversation goes well, think, this conversation will demonstrate the leadership they already see in my results. Instead of, I need to convince them, think, I'm providing clarity that serves everyone. And lastly, instead of what if they disagree with me, think, how can I facilitate the best outcome for all involved? Every crucial conversation serves three strategic purposes at the same time. First, you are demonstrating the executive presence your results have earned. This isn't just about solving the immediate issue. You are showing everyone in that room the level of leader your track record proves you to be. Second, you are modeling how senior leaders navigate complex dynamics. Whether they realize it or not, people are watching how you handle difficult conversations and situations, and you're setting the standard for what effective leadership looks like. Third, you are creating the culture where important issues get addressed efficiently. When you approach these conversations strategically, you are establishing that this organization deals with problems thoughtfully and directly. Think about the difference between a junior consultant presenting recommendations and a senior partner sharing strategic insights. Same information, completely different energy. The senior partner isn't hoping to be heard. They expect their perspective to be valued because their expertise has earned that expectation. Your conversations deserve that same level of authority. Now, understanding the shift in perspective is one thing, but how do you actually show up differently in these crucial moments? How do you translate that internal knowing into external presence that commands respect? This is where strategy meets execution. I've identified three foundational elements that, when you get them right, transform how your crucial conversations land. Think of these as the foundation that everything else builds on. So there are three pillars for high-impact communication. The first one is clarity of intention. The second one is confidence in your authority. And the last one, number three, is command through your communication style. So let's go back to the first one, clarity of intention. Before you enter any crucial conversation, get crystal clear on your leadership intention. You are not only addressing an issue, you are demonstrating how senior leaders handle complex situations. Ask yourself, what outcome serves the highest good here? How does this conversation reflect the leader I've already proven myself to be? The second one, coming to confidence in your authority. Here's where your expertise has earned you the right to have the conversation. You are not asking for permission to lead. You are exercising the leadership your results have already established. Your perspective has value precisely because of what you have accomplished. Trust that foundation. And then lastly, the way you communicate should reflect the type of leader your achievements prove you to be. Lead with strategic thinking, not emotional reaction. Focus on impact and outcome, not just problems. Create space for collaboration while maintaining your executive presence. Now, let's take these insights and make them practical. Here's how you can start implementing this approach this week. Choose one upcoming high-stakes conversation, not the biggest one, just one where you want your communication to match your capabilities. And we're going to start off by focusing on doing some strategic preparation. And here's what I mean by approaching this strategically rather than reactively. Before you think about what to say, get clear on three things. First, what outcome would serve everyone at the highest level? Not just solving the immediate problem, but what resolution reflects the kind of leader your track record proves you are. Second, anticipate the real obstacles. And I don't mean their potential defensiveness. I mean the strategic challenges that senior leaders navigate. Are there organizational pressures they are managing? Political considerations, resource constraints. When you prepare for the conversation they are actually in, not just the conversation you want to have, your authority shows. And then lastly, third, and this is crucial, decide how you'll manage your own executive presence throughout. What energy do you want to bring? How will you maintain your authority if the conversation gets challenging? Now, once you've done that preparation, here's how to practice for the actual moment or conversation. Instead of practicing what to say, practice how to show up. Because so many times we are good at practicing what we want to say, but we forget about how do we want to show up. Stand like the senior leader you are. Use the vocal tone that matches your expertise. Your body language should announce your authority before you even speak. So instead of slouching, you want to be standing or sitting upright. Here's a simple technique. Before the conversation, remind yourself of your 3 biggest professional wins this year. Yep, your 3 biggest ones. Not to prove anything to them, the people you are having the conversation with, but to ground yourself in the authority your results have earned. You are not hoping for a good outcome. You are facilitating one. All right. Let me also give you some specific language shifts that immediately change how you are perceived in these conversations. Instead of saying, I want to talk about blah, 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 try, I'd like to address the following. Instead of, I felt like, try the phrase, the impact was the following. And instead of, could we maybe try this out? Here's what you want to go with rather. Here's what I'd recommend we do next. These aren't scripts. They are shifts that position you as the strategic thinker your role requires. Now, what if the conversation doesn't go according to plan? Because that sometimes happens, right? Here's how to think about that. If the conversation doesn't go according to plan, that's data, not failure. Senior leaders iterate and optimize, review what landed well, what you'd adjust, and how you'll apply those insights to your next crucial conversation. It's not about perfection, it's about continuous leadership refinement. And here's what I want you to remember as you implement all of this. You are not learning how to have conversations. You know how to have conversations. You are optimizing how your conversations reflect the leader you've already proven yourself to be. There's a significant difference, and your approach should reflect that distinction. Here's what I want you to keep in mind. The conversation skills aren't what's missing. The recognition of your own authority is what needs to catch up to your expertise. You are an expert. You are the person in the room who knows what needs doing. So it's time for your authority to catch up to you. When you approach crucial conversations from the foundation of what you've already accomplished or achieved, rather than what you're still trying to prove, your natural leadership presence emerges. I encourage you to identify one crucial conversation you've been planning to have, not because you're avoiding it, but because you want the impact to match the importance. Ask yourself, how would I approach this conversation if I fully trusted that my expertise had earned me the authority to be here? This type of strategic communication optimization is exactly what we dive deep into in my intensive work with high-achieving women leaders. When you have access to effective frameworks and a supportive environment where you can practice and refine these skills, your influence accelerates exponentially. The women I work with in my programs don't need to learn how to be leaders. They need strategic support to ensure their external presence matches their internal capabilities. There's a profound difference, and it changes everything about how you quickly can step into your full executive authority. If today's conversation resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it. Share your insights on LinkedIn and tag me. I read every message and often feature your thoughts in future episodes. And if you're a high-achieving woman leader ready to bridge that gap between your expertise and your influence, I encourage you to connect with me. The conversation we've had today is just the beginning of what's happening when you have the right frameworks and strategic support. Until next Thursday, my friend, I am Kele, reminding you that great communication is the foundation of inspiring leadership. Keep learning, keep growing, and remember to communicate to lead.